combine driver, hogging up the road on my flower, chugga-lugga-lugging 5 miles an hour on my international harvester.
Thank you for joining us for Session 4 pre-session.
Just like a cow standing in tall grass, we are utterly tickled to be here today.
Tyrell and I are going to let you interview us. So if you have a question you want us to answer, text your chapter name and your question to 1-720-798-8933.
We will have time for 12 questions, so make sure to get your questions sent to us as quick as possible. Out of the 12 questions, we'll randomly pick 3 numbers. The chapters that ask those 3 questions will receive some vintage FFA t-shirts.
All right, boys, your first question is, how do you manage other activities like sports and work during state office?
You can go first.
So I got really lucky this year. I just worked for my dad's little construction business, so he's been really good to work with my hours. And then I haven't really done any sports, so.
Yeah, I work at the IFA in Logan, and my boss is like 100% the best boss ever, and he lets me get any time off that I need so I can be here for the FFA members, and so he has made this year possible for me. So yeah, shout out to him.
All right, Landon, this question is for you.
Okay.
Which IFA country store location is the best?
Oh no. Because I've worked at 2 different locations, and I have very good friends at another location. And I kind of want to say a 3-way tie between AF, Logan, and Tremont, but I'm going to have to say Logan is the best.
That's how he's going to keep his job, is by saying that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right, Tyrell, what has your favorite experience been in state office?
So our chapter visits this year has been like our chance to really get out there and like kind of a normalcy, I guess, compared to like other years with everything that's been going on. So I've really enjoyed the chapter visits just because we've really been able to meet the members and connect with them.
All right, what is your favorite TV show?
Oh, 100. I know this. 100% Psych. Psych is the best. I love Psych.
I don't know. I mean, we watch like Bonanza at my house, but my sister has Disney Plus, so I've been mooching off that, and I've watched like WandaVision. I don't know if that's considered a TV show, but that was pretty good.
All right, if you could pick a language to learn, which one would it be?
I know. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
100%. I would say Spanish because I would use it the most. And so 100% I'd say Spanish.
I like that. Like Spanish would be the most useful, but also for like if I could speak like Mandarin or something hard, like I could get a job where they paid me to do it. So it'd be good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you could cook something for Gordon Ramsay, what would it be and why?
I'll let you go first.
Okay, I'd go kind of southern home style country cooking. Country fried steak with eggs, the potatoes, but the potatoes have the red skin still in it with white gravy all over it.
Okay. One of my favorite meals is mac and cheese. And so what you do is you do like a 4-layer mac and cheese. You go to Gosner's and you get crazy types of cheeses. And then it's actually partially, so it's cooked in a skillet, but you smoke it. And then you cook it in the oven as well. And then you have like crumble on top of it and everything. It is so good. One of my friends from the Tremont store actually made it for me. And it's probably one of the best meals I've ever had.
Right on.
Very good. What is the weirdest thing you have found in your jacket pockets this last year?
I'm trying to think.
Dominoes or like notes I'd written. I like had a list of things I needed to do before I left for convention, like my sophomore year. And some of those things still aren't done, so it's kind of like, oh shoot. But
I've found like whenever we are supposed to like write stuff down on note cards, like memorable stuff, and I keep it in my jacket pocket, so I have those. But then occasionally I'll find like candy or like food items. I'm like, I didn't even know I had this, or I can't even remember the last time I ate this. So it's been in there for probably a couple years.
Do you eat it after you find it though?
It depends on what it is, but most of the time probably, yeah.
Nice.
All right, Tyrell. If you could picture Landon as a movie character, which one would he be and why?
Okay, so there's this show called Over the Hedge, and there's this squirrel, and like he drinks an energy drink, and he's just called Hammy. Like the world just stops, his eyes bug out, and he's just like, Landon's got so much energy, it's just good.
All right, Landon, which movie character would Tyrell be and why?
I don't know. I feel like he'd be like, kind of like, I don't want to say John Wick. I feel like that's kind of cliche, but in True Grit, there's two True Grits. And the other one, or the guy who plays the main character, but that's not that's not John Wayne. The other one, I don't know his name though.
Okay, I don't know his name either, but I know who you're talking about.
But if you haven't seen that, we're definitely watching it. It's the best True Grit.
My heart.
All right, Utah FFA, we might have learned a little too much about these guys, but let's continue on with session 4. Thank you.
My biggest inspiration is my grandma Judy. She is very hardworking, and when it comes to anything, she always keeps her head up and keeps on pushing.
The one person that I look up to is my dad. He is a high school advisor, and the reason why I look up to him is because he's taught me different things and he keeps me going.
All right, when was a time that someone served you or someone you know?
When I was little, I was helping my grandpa, and we couldn't really get this bale of hay up on the truck. My dad came over and he helped us lift it up on the truck.
The Utah FFA is part of the largest student leadership organization in the country. Our goal as an association is to provide our members opportunities to develop their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education.
There are many ways that you can support these opportunities, but what better way to show your support than to drive across our beautiful state with an FFA license plate?
Funds from the license plate program go directly back to the Utah FFA Foundation to support scholarships, chapter grants, leadership activities, and more.
Here's how you can get an FFA license plate. Utah FFA website. You'll find a tab labeled Foundation. Here, you can find the license plate program. For $45, you can become the proud owner of a Utah FFA license plate. $25 of this initial fee goes back directly to support the foundation and will be a reoccurring donation year to year as you register your vehicle. You can apply now by downloading and completing the application here and pay the online fee here, or you can write a check to the Utah FFA Foundation and mail it with the application to Utah FFA Foundation, 2300 Old Main Hill in Logan, Utah.
We thank those who have already purchased the license plate, and thank you for doing so. Your support in our program shows that you are invested in the future of agriculture.
Through co-impact sourcing initiatives, doTERRA sustainably sources pure essential oils from 45 countries around the world, providing fair and on-time wages for those who grow, harvest, and distill the oils. By ensuring living wages and offering community self-reliance initiatives, doTERRA strives to make a positive impact throughout the world, one drop at a time. doTERRA. Pursue what's pure.
Hey, long time no see. Have you checked out the FFA Blue Room or the virtual expo and silent auction? If not, go to utahffa.org for more details or contact your advisor. Catch you later. We'd like to thank our session sponsors, Agraria Insurance Company and Utah Farmers Union. Thank you for your support to Utah FFA.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories with family, friends, and your community is just a way of life. Yes, in times like these, it's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life.
Utah FFA. Are you ready for your 93rd FFA convention? Let's celebrate virtually. It's time to introduce your 2020-2021 Utah FFA officer team. Your sentinel from Hurricane, Tyrell Jacobson. Your reporter from Canyon View, Whitney Larson. Your treasurer from Duchesne, JT Potter. Your secretary from Maple Mountain, Brianna Harding. Your vice president from American Fork, Mattia Townsend. And your president from Westlake, Landon Parnell.
The convention hall will come to order. We are now holding the fourth general session of the 93rd Annual Utah FFA State Convention. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they're at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The Reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to Puerto Rico and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The Treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The Secretary.
Stationed at the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The Advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I am asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is the symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
I am pleased to announce there are 59 chapters registered, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here?
To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess.
May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare the fourth general session of the 93rd Annual Utah FFA State Convention duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. Today, we would like to introduce two individuals who have brought countless laughter to those around and helped them reach their highest potential.
These two share a love for old country music and have a wonderful fashion sense.
One shot competitively in high school rodeo, and well, the other is the gun show.
While she has that Shania Twain sass, he has that Merle Haggard class.
Ladies and gentlemen, members and guests, your session 4 chairs, Whitney Larson and JT Potter.
Last year, the Utah Farm Bureau started a project called Farmers Feeding Utah to provide relief to those affected by COVID-19, and it's still happening. This is such a great service and such a great example of reaching down to those around us in a time where we all needed a little help.
Service of any form is a perfect example of reaching down. It is so important that people are helping each other up.
That's right, Winnie, and even though we all strive to be independent in things like finances, health, or education, we really are lucky to have people willing to help us on our journey.
We have a lot of people reaching down to us, and we reach down to other people that we can help too. Let's all remember to reach down and help, but not to look down on others. We are all working to accomplish our next goal, and there are some people standing in the same shoes we once did.
In this session, we will recognize Star Green Hand recipients who have accepted others reaching down and driving them towards achievement with their SAEs. We will award our Food for America awards to individuals who have been examples of reaching down to provide service to those in their communities. We will also hear from individuals serving our association as 2 of our state officers give their retiring addresses.
Hey JT, do you remember learning how to drive?
Oh, I'm still learning. But I would never have made it this far if it weren't for those early years behind the steering wheel hauling hay and my driver's ed teacher.
Oh, for sure, JT. Thank goodness for those who drove with me the first year I was driving. I know that parents, guardians, and our oh-so-patient driver's ed instructors reach down to help each of us learn to be safe drivers to protect ourselves and others. Speaking of early years, we have some awards to give to our first-year members.
Those receiving the State Star Green Hand Award understand the importance of allowing others to reach down to them in order to excel in their projects. Please join us in recognizing our State Star Green Hand finalists.
The State Star Green Hand Awards. State Star Green Hand and Agribusiness. Sponsored by the Utah Pork Producers Association. State Star Green Hand and Agribusiness finalists are Graydon Corbridge from the Bear River FFA chapter, Hayden Garfield from Cedar, Duncan Pay from Mount Nebo, and Stetson Roethlisberger from Uinta. And the third runner-up is Graydon Corbridge from the Bear River FFA chapter. Graydon is the son of Rick and Adela Corbridge. His advisors are Melissa Ingram, TJ Rhodes, Dave Schaefer, Kelly Kunzler, and Wes Burrell. Graydon has always been a very outdoorsy person. He loves playing sports, hunting, fishing, and anything outside. Graydon especially loves duck hunting. He started turning his own duck calls in the summer of 2019. Since then, his business has almost doubled in sales and popularity. In the future, he hopes to start a website and social media account to help promote his calls and increase his sales and popularity. And your second runner-up is Duncan Pay from the Mount Nebo FFA chapter. Duncan's parents are Donnie and Richard Pay. His advisors are John Burton, Tyler Ellickson, and Melanie Brinkerhoff. Duncan's SAE began when he saw an opportunity to provide needed services in the community and could earn some money for himself. He started out caring for a few lawns and has grown his business. His custom service started when he was approached to do some groundwork, planting and harvesting on pieces for local farmers that didn't have the equipment to work their own ground, but wanted to raise a crop. He's been a solution in both cases, providing a quality yet affordable service to his farming community. Duncan enjoys his experiences in agriculture and plans to pursue a degree and career in some facet of agriculture. And your first runner-up is Hayden Garfield from the Cedar FFA chapter. Hayden is the son of Zach and Kate Garfield. His advisor is Michaela Plue. Hayden's interest in show goats started when he showed his first goat at the age of 7 years old. Learning from his dad, he started out only selling a few show goats a year. He now has 15 breeding does, 5 yearling does, and 2 bucks that produce on average 20 sellable show goats a year. Hayden produces high-quality show goats for sale and has many happy returning customers. He has attended many show clinics to increase his knowledge and put on clinics for others. Hayden plans to continue putting on show goat clinics to teach younger goat shopping. And the winner of the State Star Green Hand and Agribusiness Award is Stetson Roethlisberger from the Uinta FFA chapter. Stetson is the son of Daryl and Sherry Roethlisberger. His advisors are Sherry Roethlisberger and David Wilson. Stetson's love for ag, and specifically cattle, began early as he helped on the family beef operation and traveled to livestock shows across the West. He started helping his dad put on fitting and showmanship clinics around the state and practiced the skills he learned from them on. He has developed his skills while clipping and fitting animals for numerous shows and trimming bulls and females for production sales around the country. He plans to continue learning and interning with top beef producers over the summer, learning more about nutrition and current trends in the beef industry to better serve his customers. State Star Green Hand and Agri-Science. Sponsored by Utah Pork Producers Association. State Star Green Hand and Agri-Science finalists are Brinley Rhodes from the Bear River FFA chapter and Lincoln Kennison from the Tooele FFA chapter. And your first runner-up is Lincoln Kennison from the Tooele FFA chapter. Lincoln is the son of Evan and Esther Kennison. His advisors are Jeanette Shields, Cassidy Gunnell, Ty Bevan, and Kobe Champions. Lincoln's interest in agri-science started when he wanted to help improve the yields of his family's garden. His first project included crop rotation, which later led him to honeybees. Lincoln serves as an FFA officer in the Tooele FFA chapter and excels at public speaking contests. Lincoln plans to continue his education after high school and hopes to pursue a career in veterinary science. And your State Star Green Hand and Agri-Science winner is Brinley Rhodes from the Bear River FFA chapter. Brinley is the daughter of TJ and Tiffany Rhodes. Her advisors are Melissa Ingram, TJ Rhodes, Wesley Burrell, Kelly Kunzler, and Dave Schaefer. Brinley was raised around farming, and her love of science grew from her success with elementary school science fair projects. These two passions came together when she joined the FFA and competed in the Agri-Science Fair. Her first project discovered the best way to manage noxious grasses in alfalfa and placed third nationally last October. Her current project determined the main causes of depression and anxiety among farmers and ranchers by conducting a nationwide survey. She plans to continue competing in agri-science as well as improve the genetics of her show goat breeding SAE. State Star Green Hand in Placement. Sponsored by Smithfield Hog Production. State Star Green Hand and Placement finalists are Allison Shields from the Delta FFA chapter, Royce Boyer from North Summit, Emily Blazard from South Summit, and Asia Massey from Uinta. And your third runner-up is Asia Massey from the Uinta FFA chapter. Asia Massey is the daughter of Sean and Tamara Massey. Her advisors are Sherry Roethlisberger and David Wilson. Asia has worked on the family farm her whole life. She was adopted from China as a baby into a farming family. She started moving water lines on their 910-acre farm, and over the time has learned repairs and maintenance work on all kinds of irrigation and equipment. She has assisted in putting pump stations in and has learned how to work them. She taught several kids how to move the water lines correctly and the importance of hard work. She is paid for her labor and has learned proper bookkeeping and money management. Her career goal is to be an agriculture teacher.
Your second runner-up is Emily Blazard from the South Summit FFA chapter. Emily is the daughter of Amanda and Jeremy Blazard and a member of the South Summit FFA chapter. Her advisors are Jolene Christensen, Jake Wolstenhume, and Neil Creer. Emily's interest and love for the family business began as a small child helping on the family farm. Emily has recently been able to apply her skills and gain experience and knowledge working for Ballerina Farms. At first, Emily's essay project was on animal production and has now grown to include meat production, marketing, and shipping the finished product. Emily also works for Blazard Lumber, who emphasizes land management, mechanical work, forestry, and animal production. Emily continues to look into agricultural careers in the field and is excited about the opportunities that agriculture has to offer.
And your first runner-up is Allison Shields from the Delta FFA chapter. Allie is the daughter of Casey and Laura Shields. Her advisors are Chad Warnick and Kirk Willoughby. Allie has always loved horses and competing on them. She started working for Great Basin Performance Horses, helping to catch horses and doing simple jobs. Now she can do every aspect of the business. She is able to ultrasound mares, do artificial insemination, collect from studs, and do microscope evaluation of the stud collections. She is able to take charge of the operation if her family is away. Her plans include becoming a partner in the business and buying and selling the services of her own studs.
And the winner is Royce Boyer from the North Summit FFA chapter. Royce is the son of Jeremy and Kim Boyer. His advisors are Katie Silcox, Schote Roth, and Tiffany Myers. Royce's essay project consists of working for Jeremy Boyer to improve the land for livestock and wildlife. When Royce first started working, he was to check the goats that were grazed on the property to make sure they were healthy in the correct areas and that there were no losses to predators. Over time, his responsibilities have increased. Royce is responsible for spraying weeds, brush, and other vegetation to prepare the area for improved planting, running heavy equipment to clear off the improved areas, planting those areas and spraying for weeds, installing water lines, troughs, and 5.4 miles of cross fencing.
State Star Green Hand in production. Sponsored by Smithfield Hog Production. State Star and Green Hand Production finalists are Katie Hewlett from the Bear River FFA chapter, Gatlin Pendleton from Manila FFA chapter, Duncan Pay from the Mount Nebo FFA chapter, and Morgan Wild from the North Summit FFA chapter. And your third runner-up is Gatlin Pendleton from the Manila FFA chapter. Gatlin is the son of Travis and Tawny Pendleton. Gatlin started his entrepreneurial beef business by showing market beef at the Sweetwater County Fair. He has shown 2 grand and 1 reserve champion steer. He started his breeding herd with a heifer he received in exchange for his labor. He has expanded his herd by keeping and purchasing replacement heifers and now owns 7 cows. He also owns a herd of breeding goats that he uses for roping and sells through livestock auctions. He is active in rodeo, FFA, and 4-H. He helps on the family ranch with irrigating, working cattle, and feeding. As a sophomore at Manila High School, Gatlin is working towards and achieving his project goals.
Your second runner-up is Morgan Wild from the North Summit FFA chapter. Morgan is the daughter of Wade and Maria Wild. Her North Summit FFA advisors are Katie Silcox, Schote Roth, and Tiffany Myers. Morgan's SAE project consists of raising cattle and training horses. Morgan's love of agriculture has been instilled in her through generations of ranchers in her family. She runs cattle with her grandpa and dad. She does a labor trade to cover the expenses of her cattle. Morgan's cattle are finished out at feedlots in Lincoln, Nebraska. One thing she has implemented to her project is DNA testing. While this does not change how Morgan cares for the cattle, it does change how she selects genetics and breeding for her cattle. Morgan loves to rodeo. She raises and trains her own horses.
And your first runner-up is Duncan Pay from the Mount Nebo FFA chapter. Duncan is the son of Donnie and Richard Pay. His FFA advisors are John Burton, Tyler Ellertson, and Melanie Brinkerhoff. He has grown up showing and raising Suffolk cross lambs and got his first calf, who he raised on the bottle and is now part of his SAE. Duncan has steadily increased his livestock numbers each year as he raised, sold, and bought animals. He plans to continue increasing his numbers in both his sheep and beef projects. He also leases ground to raise and sell alfalfa hay. He has learned many new skills and gained valuable knowledge in animal nutrition and management through raising his animals. He also plans to pursue a degree and a career in the agricultural field.
And the winner is Katie Hewlett from the Bear River FFA chapter. Katie is the daughter of Jason and Kristen Hewlett. Her advisors are Melissa Ingram, TJ Rhodes, Wes Burrell, Kelly Kunzler, and Dave Schaefer. Katie has been breeding Holland Lop rabbits and running a rabbitry for several years. She also breeds and sells AKC English Labrador Retrievers. Despite a setback with bad rabbit feed that nearly destroyed her business, Katie has rebuilt her rabbitry and maintained a high standard of quality in her Hollands. She has also worked for the last few years on her agri-science project to find a suitable rabbit milk replacement formula to use in case of an emergency. She plans to continue building her business and wants to continue working towards improving the breed standards of perfection.
I believe that serving others is important because we lift ourselves up by helping others.
I make and braid rawhide, and I love doing it because it connects me to my cowboy heritage.
We are Crooklyn Pay
and Caitlin Heaton. We have the privilege to be introducing a very special lady.
Her first SAE project was raising worms in her cram box in her garage.
She served as Maple Mountain FFA's secretary, president, and parliamentarian in high school.
She rocked the extemporaneous public speaking contest and took state in the 2019-2020 Utah State Convention.
She was always up for any type of adventure, whether it's rappelling, hiking, or so much more. She's a person you can always count on and will be there for you at the drop of a dime.
She's our best friend, and we love her more than anything in this world.
We cannot be more proud of her and what she has accomplished in this last year.
So, without further ado, here's your 2020-2021
State Secretary,
Brianna Harding.
States Farmers and Ranchers Alliance reports that 72% of the American population claim to have little to no knowledge about the agricultural industry. For those involved in agriculture, which is all of us watching today, this is a huge problem, considering the fact that all agriculturalists are dependent upon consumers to continue growing and supporting their businesses. FFA members and every agriculturalist has the responsibility to educate those who fall within that 72% statistic, or our industry, as we know it, will greatly suffer. At first glance, I am your typical city kid. I was born and raised in good old Spanish Fork. Growing up, I could be found wearing my pink cowgirl boots and matching hat everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Church, school, choir, softball practice, and even family pictures. For Halloween, I used to dress up as a rodeo queen. I loved running around the house on my stick horse pretending that I was a tough cowgirl. That was my dream, and honestly, still is. My hopes and dreams are to one day be involved in traditional agriculture. Even though I may not have grown up with any connections to the agricultural industry, that hasn't stopped me from having a passion for outdoor adventure, plants and soil, and raising and showing animals. And my involvement in FFA gave me the opportunities I always wanted, to learn about agriculture and get a little taste of this amazing industry. Now I want each of you to take just a minute and think about your connection to agriculture. Is it through your family farm that's been around for generations? Is it the garden that you've worked hard to grow? Are you welding, showing livestock, working at a grocery store? Now dive deep and think about why you believe in the future of agriculture. Today, misconceptions about the agricultural industry are resulting in people viewing and treating agriculturalists as if they are dishonest, unimportant, and ignorant. How are we letting this happen? With more than 6,000 FFA members just in Utah, how are we letting our experiences and our livelihoods in agriculture be interpreted by those who are uneducated about our real agricultural situations? In 1974, German political scientist Elisabeth Noel Neumann presented a theory that I think describes the situations agriculturalists find themselves in at one point or another. It's called the spiral of silence. The spiral of silence, in simple terms, is defined as the tendency people have to hide their thoughts, opinions, or views when they are different from that of the majority. Noel Neumann suggests that people tend to hide their opinions away when they fear they might expose themselves to public isolation. Now, let me give you an example. Have you ever had a grand idea for your group project at school? When your group gets together to work on your project, you express your idea, but no one in your group seems to agree with you. This is just the beginning of the spiral. As the spiral continues, people begin to exert isolation pressure on others, such as frowning or turning away when someone says or does something that is contrary to the public opinion. So that grand idea you had for your group project just slips away due to being isolated by your peers. Isolation pressure can potentially become extreme and lead to job loss, being abandoned by family and friends, or even a downgrade in social status. These are all things that no one wants. So, what do most people do? They stay silent. They believe silence equals safety. They let fear control their lives. We stay silent about how hard we work, silent about how our crops are grown safely and sustainably, silent about how our livestock eat better than we do most days. Are we willingly living our lives at the bottom of the spiral of silence? No, not me, not anymore. I will not stand here and stay silent, and I know I'm not the only one who believes in speaking up either. The FFA Creed states, I believe in leadership from ourselves and respect from others. It's time to advocate for the agricultural industry. I may not be a traditional agriculturalist, and I might not be involved in agriculture in the future, but some of my best friends currently are and will continue to be involved in agriculture in their futures. It's our responsibility to advocate for agriculture. Everyone deserves respect, especially those who provide food for our families each and every day. I advocate now for a world where my best friends can work in an industry that they love. I advocate for a future where my friends can provide for their families while receiving the respect of the community. By advocating for agriculture, I'm advocating for them. I advocate now so that a future global population of 9.8 billion people can understand the importance of agriculture in their lives each and every day. I advocate so that a world where we can all respect each other's differences and no longer stay silent. Continuing on, the FFA Creed states, and in the ability of progressive agriculturalists to serve our own and the public interest in producing and marketing the product of our toil. Today, simply believing in the future of agriculture isn't enough anymore. I like to compare believing in the future of agriculture to believing in Santa Claus. As a kid, it simply wasn't enough just to believe he was real. It required some action too. I loved writing letters to the North Pole with lists and pictures of things that I wanted for Christmas. Of course, I always made sure milk and cookies were left out for Santa on Christmas Eve night, and something my mom still forces my siblings and I to do till this day. We visit Santa at the mall, tell him what we want for Christmas, and take a picture with him. It took all of these actions for Santa to visit on Christmas Eve night. Agriculture is the same. We've been believing in the future of it for so long. Now it's time for each of us to take action and make a change. We are the progressive agriculturalists, and producing the product of our toil goes far beyond grocery store shelves. It reaches the phones in our pockets, laptops, and every social media page and newsfeed. It's time to serve our own and the public interest by finding our own individual drive to speak up and by taking the steps necessary to advocate for the agricultural industry. By doing this, we can ensure that 72% statistic of uneducated Americans concerning the agricultural industry will shrink significantly, resulting in a population who is both more informed and familiar with the life-sustaining world of agriculture.
Oh, Bree. We have seen the benefits of your passion and advocacy for agriculture. Your dedication and responsibility remind us of the value of hard work. Thank you for your example of leadership and guidance. Never stop reaching. Love Landon, Tyrell, Whitney, Tia, and JT. Utah FFA, for the final time, your 2020 and 2021 state reporter, Brianna Harding.
That's shown up in attention. She's poetry in motion, a beautiful sight to see. I get so excited viewing her anatomy. She's shielded, she's kind, got all the curves a man like. She's shielded, she's stacked, got all the curves a man like.
My involvement in FFA will help me be able to talk to more people and become a better leader. And it also taught me the immense beauty there is in agriculture.
I believe in the future of agriculture because I believe that agriculture is the future. Without agriculture, we wouldn't be able to eat, probably even breathe air, have clothing to wear. And I think that through education and the people in agriculture right now, we will be able to teach other people about how important it is that agriculture is a part of our everyday life and that we need to have agriculture to be able to continue to live on the earth.
Eventually, there comes a time where we all must take off the corduroy jacket for the last time.
Even as your time in the jacket ends, you can still be a vital part of the largest national youth organization. But how?
Become an alumni member. Once you're no longer an active FFA member, you're considered an alumni member. But what does that mean?
Alumni members help FFA members succeed by becoming involved in mentorship programs, participating in alumni chapter activities, fundraising for local chapters, and more.
The Alumni Association is committed to helping FFA members grow through connection, growth, and giving back.
Aside from helping current FFA members to grow, being an alumni has perks on its own, including benefits like the Forever Blue Network, where FFA alumni can be connected with businesses, spokespersons, and potential employers, and countless opportunities that await FFA members.
Starting an alumni chapter is actually pretty easy. All you need to get started is the registration information at utahffa.org and to designate an alumni leader.
What makes a good alumni leader? Well, they should be an alumni member for sure, and somebody who can organize and initiate chapter activities.
An alumni leader can be any alumni member who is committed to helping FFA members in their community grow.
They say good things don't last forever, but why not? To learn more about starting an alumni chapter, visit utahffa.org or reach out to our state alumni coordinator.
Remember, the fun of FFA doesn't have to stop just because our time in the jacket does.
As people in agriculture, we know a lot about where our food comes from, but do we make sure that other people can also have the privilege of knowing that?
Some chapters in our state have done that exact thing. With the Food for America grant, FFA members can teach others about agriculture so that more people can know about the importance of our industry.
The chapters receiving this award have excelled in growing leaders and sharing their knowledge of agriculture.
Hi, my name is Becca Idrelson, and I am the Education Specialist for Utah Agriculture in the Classroom. Utah Agriculture in the Classroom sponsors the Utah Food for America program. This program is an opportunity for you as FFA members to increase agricultural literacy in your communities. Your participation in this program is a chance to make a real difference in the lives of students, teachers, and community members with whom you share your message. The goal of the program is to teach people where their food comes from and help them understand that agriculture has a direct impact on our environment and the quality of life that we live. It may seem like a no-brainer in that people should know where their food comes from. However, you may be surprised as you talk with students and even adults that there is a true disconnect in regards to people knowing the sources of their food. You can enlighten and educate people about food production, processing, and distribution. This year, Utah Agriculture in the Classroom wants to recognize outstanding FFA chapters for their exceptional Food for America programs. What makes an outstanding program? The program must follow the established guidelines of the Utah Food for America program and target the message of food and fabric production. Additionally, the program should include a measurement of agricultural literacy. What did the students know prior to your work with them, and what learning did they demonstrate afterwards? Lastly, but just as important, the application should be a complete and professional representation of your chapter. 3 chapters showed outstanding efforts this year and will receive plaques and $500 checks for their FFA chapter. The 3 outstanding chapters this year are Fremont, Wayne, and Weber. As evidenced by their chapters' applications, these projects were fun and educational. Fremont, Wayne, and Weber all found impressive ways to educate students during current circumstances. Whether they taught face-to-face or virtually, these FFA chapters organized creative and engaging activities for students of all ages and demonstrated evidence of increasing agricultural literacy. Fremont, Wayne, and Weber chapters, your programs are excellent examples of what a comprehensive Food for America program should be. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. I want to thank each of the chapters for their efforts in increasing agricultural literacy throughout the communities and our state. And I want to encourage other chapters to participate in next year's program. On behalf of Utah Agriculture in the Classroom, thank you for letting me present these awards, and I congratulate you on your success.
In the Employment Skills LDE, FFA members are able to experience a simulation of a real-life job application and interview process. Judges in these competitions reach down to help our members improve these skills. We will now award the state winners in our Employment Skills LDE. Your participants in no particular order are Jade Stowell from Parowan, Rainey Richardson from Maple Mountain, Spencer Bischoff from Weber, Sailor Day from Delta, Rodney Richens from Royal, Samantha Atwood from Clearfield, Brendan Gardner from Uinta, Jasmine Chesser from Pineview, Melanie Mower from Payson, Michaela Nelson from Fremont, Josie Jarrett from Carbon, Kate Reynolds from Mount Nebo, and Cambry Richens from North Summit. The third place winner in the Employment Skills Leadership Development event is Karsten Smith from Mountain Crest. Our second place winner is Zane Ballard from Green Canyon. And the winner of the 2021 State FFA Employment Skills Leadership Development event is Carly Bracken from Springville.
Hello, Utah FFA. Since she was young, my sister Mattia has always been obsessed with horses. Her childhood was filled with cowgirl birthday parties and horse figurines. When Mattia was 12, our family moved to a ranch, which really gave her the opportunity to dive into the horse world. Eventually, she was winning buckles in high school rodeo and teaching her own horseback riding lessons. She rode every day, all while maintaining excellent grades, teaching, and working at a vet. She put so much hard work into everything she does, especially the National FFA organization. She has turned into such a strong, smart, beautiful, sweet young woman. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the Utah State Vice President, Mattia Townsend.
Let's start this off with a little experiment. I'm gonna say a word or two, and I want you to pay attention to the first thing that comes to mind. If I say mac and, is your first thought cheese? Now how about I believe? Who else had the words in the future of agriculture run through their mind? Now last one, contagious. I'm willing to bet money that a majority of you connected the word contagious with COVID. Now wait, before you roll your eyes and assume that 2020 is all I'm gonna talk about, listen up. Because I'm not here to rant about a virus that changed our lives. Instead, I'm gonna change your mindset so when I'm done talking to you, if someone were to say the word contagious, your first thought would not be related to coronavirus. I'm talking about contagious positivity, something with a transmission rate higher than any sickness we know. Like most people, I lived a majority of my life in ignorance of the impact my positivity had on those around me. In my senior year of high school, I had an experience that opened my eyes to contagious positivity. It was the fall season of my last year competing in high school rodeo, and I still hadn't been invited to the biggest event of the year, Cowboy Prom. Instead of letting the lack of a date ruin the potential for a fun night, I decided to attend the dance stag, which means going with a group rather than with a date. I walked into the event that night with my posse, ready to have some fun, but aware of the risk I ran of embarrassing myself in front of the whole high school rodeo crowd. I knew that if I could just keep my brain in charge the whole time, I'd be fine. because the second my body takes charge, the embarrassing dance moves that I keep hidden deep in my soul would be released, and I would surely become the laughingstock of the whole event. It started out great. I was in a circle with my friends doing the awkward high school sway, and I even had the courage to snap my fingers when the music got real snazzy. That was until the DJ turned on Shania Twain. In a second, a switch flipped inside of me and my brain left. My body was in charge and the crazy dance moves were free. I found myself in the middle of the dance floor with a big grin on my face as I showed off the sprinkler, the shopping cart, the lawnmower, and the Q-tip. Then time seemed to stand still as I realized what I had just done. But before I could turn red from embarrassment, I looked around me. And where I expected to see pointing fingers, laughing faces, and rolling eyes, instead I saw genuine smiles and people joining in on my dance moves. It was then that I realized my positivity had spread throughout the whole event. Nearly everyone had caught a case of the smiles. I left the dance floor that night with a new awareness of the influential power emotions have. Now, just like I grew up thinking that I didn't have an influence on others, I also believed for the longest time that I was an awful artist. Now, granted, I couldn't draw a square even with a stencil, but I only believed that because my definition of an artist was someone that could draw or paint. Today, my definition of an artist is someone that creates. Yes, creating artwork like a drawing or a painting still qualifies you as an artist, but let's think more broad. I was an artist the night of my senior cowboy prom because I created a good time for myself and for those around me. In fact, we all have the potential to become artists every single day. The simple actions in our everyday life could be related to the strokes of Bob Ross's paintbrush, each one building upon the prior. And in no time at all, they formed a masterpiece. We have the ability to create a good feeling for someone else, to create a good day for ourselves, to create those good vibes that everyone's always chasing. I consider these creations to be even more influential than the great Mona Lisa, a painting we all know about because Leonardo da Vinci decided to share his masterpiece. This is why spreading your smile is so important. The world deserves to see your artwork. Now, we have an idea of what contagious positivity is and why we should choose to share our artwork. But these are just thoughts. And thoughts are useless without action. We need to put an effort towards spreading our smile. But how? I'll share with you a story of a time where I caught a case of the smiles. I was 11 when my family moved from the subdivisions to a rundown hobby farm. The first animal we got was a goat. Her name was Coco Jane, and she was a dairy goat. I wanted so badly to milk her, but I didn't have a stand to milk her on. That's where my grandpa came into play. My grandpa supported me in my dairy goat dream, so he helped me build that stand. Although I was so happy to have someone help me, what really made me smile was his smile, as he sacrificed his time to help me build that milk stand. My grandpa spread his contagious positivity to me through support and service and smiles. Now, I'll give you a second to think of a time when someone made you smile. Did this person support you? Did they take time out of their day to serve you? Or did you smile simply because they were smiling? Let's use this as a lesson of how we can have the same effect on others. I encourage you to spread your smile by supporting and serving others. And believe it or not, by smiling. Now, last thing I want you to do, similar to the activity we started with, I'm going to say a word, and this time I want you to do the first thing that comes to mind. Contagious. That's what I thought. Now go forward and spread your smile to start the positivity pandemic.
Tia. Your enthusiasm and contagious positivity show us that there's something good in every day. Your confidence radiates to others, brightening every room. Thank you for recognizing all of our efforts and successes, even the little ones. Never stop reaching. Love, Whit, Bree, Landon, JT, and Ty. Utah FFA, for the final time, your 2020-2021 State Vice President, Tia Townsend.
Did you quit or did you try? Live your dreams or let them die. What did you choose? What did you choose? When it all goes down, it ain't if it's how they remember you.
What inspires me the most is my ag teacher, Mr. Miller, because he always pushes me to do my best, and he's just kind to everyone.
The best piece of advice I've ever received is to take chances, because if you don't take the chance, then you won't move on in life, and you'll regret not taking the chance.
Through FFA, I've learned skills. I've learned confidence. I've learned confidence in public speaking, confidence in making friends, and confidence in being a leader.
Our advisors share their knowledge with us to shape and help us grow. Our advisors have influenced each one of us, and we want to recognize them.
Branch. Words cannot describe how truly grateful I am that you came into my life when you did. You didn't hesitate to be my friend when I needed it most. You taught me to celebrate every success, both in and out of the classroom, no matter how small. Thank you for always listening, being patient with me, and of course, your constant kindness. Love, Brianna. Draper. Thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone in so many different ways. From competing in creed speaking to making friends in class, you were always there to help me. Because of you, I learned I could have a place in the FFA and agriculture. You taught me to be confident in all that I do, and for that, I am so grateful. Love, Bree. Mama G. You have always been there for me every step of the way. Thank you for never giving up on me, even though I'm always late for everything. My passion and love for agriculture has all been inspired by you. You've constantly found ways to motivate, encourage, and love me, even when I didn't make it easy. Thank you for teaching me that I can do hard things. Love, Bree Bree. Jensen. You've always supported my crazy ideas and have definitely been the cause of many of them. You've encouraged me to try new things no matter how uncomfortable they seem at first. I'll never forget our long talks about life and agriculture. You've taught me it's possible to have fun or sleep anywhere. Thank you for always believing in me and helping me grow. Love, Bree Bree.
Mr. Lim, whether you were teaching me animal anatomy, coaching me in a wrestling match, or making me practice my public speaking, I always knew that you believed in me. Thank you for your influence in my life.
Mr. Gowns, thank you for being a constant friend, support, and mentor in my life. You saw a potential I didn't see in myself. Mr. Bevan, thank you for always influencing me to be the best version of myself. I'm grateful for the responsibility, accountability, and other values you have instilled in me. Mrs. Beagley, thank you for constantly being more than willing to answer any of my questions and always reminding me to stay true to who I am.
Mr. Blackhurst, by following your example of taking the bull by the horns, I found myself living with less regrets. Thank you for the many great life lessons in my senior year. Love, Tia. Miss Donaldson, as my role model during my sophomore year, you taught me to embrace change. Thank you for inspiring me to practice patience and kindness in all that I do. Love, Tia. Mrs. Smith, your ability to make anyone feel special is something that I work towards every day. Thank you for being a consistent example of kindness in my life. Love, Tia. Mr. Smith, your determination to keep our chapter running taught me to fight for what I believe in. Thank you for helping me define my values in this game of life. Love, Tia.
Mrs. Esplin, thank you for welcoming an awkward freshman who had just switched high schools into the FFA. You have always been extremely kind and supported me even after you retired. Thank you. Miss Violet, thank you for always pushing me to step out of my comfort zone. You're always a friend to talk to and have always taught me to respect those around me. You have constantly taught me new things and supported me with my goals and ideas. Thank you for everything.
Miss Thomas, thank you for always keeping me in line on trips and teaching me to respect the work of all of those around me. Mr. Houston, thank you for always pushing me to do my best in everything from speaking to my classwork. Because of you, I will always know that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and working as a team is always better than working alone. Mr. Russell, thank you for teaching me to find the good in the world no matter how bad it seems, and remind me to always learn from every one of my failures. Miss Knowles, thank you for teaching me the value of hard work and determination, and constantly reminding me that you'll never know if you never try.
Hi, Utah. What my ag teacher has taught me is no matter what your circumstance is, you can always make a positive impact to those around you and of what your situation is.
What is something your FFA teacher has taught you?
She's taught me a lot about how to focus and learn and study harder so I can pass my classes easier, and she's also helped me to treat the environment better and with more respect.
I believe in the future of agriculture because agriculture is the foundation of everything. Without it, we wouldn't be here.
The best piece of advice I've ever been given is just because you don't win, it doesn't mean that you're a failure.
Possibly the biggest party in Utah, besides the FFA convention, of course, is the state fair.
Man, JT, I love the state fair. They have a carnival, rodeo, demolition derbies, and countless booths filled with tiny trinkets. Not to mention the food. Hot dogs, funnel cakes, candy apples, churros, and my favorite, the grilled corn. The highlight of the show, we get to see members exhibit livestock, exhibit projects, and their crops they've grown.
Speaking of our members, let's take a look at what chapters were best represented in our State Fair Sweepstakes Awards. The best FFA chapter Ag Mechanics exhibit is Richfield. The best FFA chapter Beef Cattle exhibit is Bear River. The best chapter Crops exhibit is Payson. The best FFA chapter Dairy Cattle exhibit is Skyview. The best FFA chapter Floriculture exhibit is Payson. The best FFA chapter Goat exhibit is Westlake. The best chapter Sheep exhibit is Spanish Fork. The best FFA chapter Swine Cattle exhibit is Payson. The Utah State Fair Sweepstakes second place chapter is Payson. The Utah State Fair Sweepstakes first place chapter is Bear River.
In this session, we were able to recognize different acts of service opportunities for our members to reach down. The impact you create may not be apparent at the moment, but the effects have the power to be long-lasting.
Utah FFA members and guests, thank you for reaching down with us this session. We challenge you to continue serving and reaching down. Whether it be in your local community or statewide, you will never know the impact you are creating.
The skills I have learned, one major skill I've learned is how to be responsible. And I have done projects like lambs, and being able to do this helps me be able to keep up on what I'm doing. And in the future, I think that'll just be able to help me by being responsible, and I'll be able to do what I need to do.
My name is Shelby Hinkle, and I am a member of Bear River FFA. I'm a freshman at Bear River Middle School, and one of my hobbies is raising and showing market goats in the fair. I have been showing goats for about 3 years now, and I absolutely love it. I show them both the county and the state fair. My second year showing goats, I was fortunate enough to get grand champion, and it was such an amazing experience. My favorite part about showing goats is being able to raise the goat all summer and then take it to the fair to show off all the hard work that you've put in. I plan on showing market goats for the rest of high school, and I can't wait to do it.
Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I do, Mr. President. I have the following announcements. The FFA Blue Room is open to all participants. The links to the silent auction, FFA Blue Room, and virtual expo can be found at utahffa.org. Check out some amazing offers and info from our sponsors and partners. All online activities will be closed Friday night. And don't forget to join us at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for our 5th and final session of the 93rd Utah FFA State Convention.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this session? We are about to adjourn the 4th general session of the 93rd Annual Utah FFA State Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now declare this convention hall adjourned until the 5th session tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Forgot to do that, but.
Oh hey, how's convention going? Have you had a chance to check out our other online events like the FFA Blue Room, Online Expo, and Silent Auction? If not, talk to your advisor or check out utahffa.org for more information. Have a good one.